All right, let's move over to a light heavyweight matchup now where we got Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev coming in at minus 550. He goes up against Juice Box Julius Walker, who comes in at plus 420. Now, starting off on the Yakhyaev side, this guy is 9-0, former Aries FC champion, and has been running through his UFC competition ever since he's touched foot in the octagon. Dating back to his quick knockout win over Alec Lorenz on the Contender Series, to quick submission victories over Rafael Cerqueira and Brendison Ribeiro, it's clear this guy has all the skills to be a wrecking crew in the light heavyweight division. Now, I've often said that he might even benefit from going to go down to 185 pounds, but if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? He's showcased some decent striking. He's obviously a very nasty jiu-jitsu specialist with good chokes. His long, lanky frame obviously helps him snatch up those submissions. And I've seen some people kind of hate on him a little bit for his striking that he's been showing in the UFC. But just go back and watch some of his regional tape. The guy's not a bad striker whatsoever. Everybody gets clipped here and there, but it's not anything that's caused him too much issue to the point that he still can't go out there and get the victory. He's very, very good in my opinion. And I think that until he faces the top 5 of the light heavyweight division, he's going to continue to go out there and crush most of his opposition. He's only 25 years old still, so there's not a whole lot of issue in terms of taking your time with him, allowing him to build up a little bit of a highlight reel so that you guys got more to show when he starts fighting these high level of competition. But this is a guy, if he stays as busy as he has, he might be headlining shows by next year, end of next year, at the rate that he's currently at. But he is very skilled, very dangerous, and it seems like the UFC continues to give him softball after softball to try to continue to build his resume now. So this weekend, he's going up against Julius Walker, who is now 1-2 in the UFC. Had a very close split decision loss to Alonzo Menafield in his first fight. That one was very sloppy. A lot of jockeying for position in the clinch. A lot of sloppy shots. It wasn't a great look for either guy that night. It was impressive for the fact that Walker was able to have such a close fight against a veteran like Menafield. But considering how the fight went, just nothing awe-inspiring from either side there. Then he went out there and decided to out-grapple Rafael Cerqueira, whereas pretty much every other opponent that Cerqueira has faced, including Yakhyaev, was able to get Cerqueira out of there within a minute or two. And I think if Walker kind of just trusted his power a little bit more, he would have been able to let go and got Cerqueira out of there pretty quickly. But he decided to go the grapple-heavy route and ended up going the full 15 minutes. Then he went up against Dustin Jacoby earlier this year, where he did win the first round on all scorecards. He got hurt a little bit at the beginning of the fight, then got to his grappling, was able to get some good control against Jacoby. But then in the second round, we saw the striking advantage there for Jacoby, who was able to hurt and then eventually put away Walker in that second round. So Walker, the guy looks athletic, the guy looks strong and all that, but he utilizes that strength more so to his grappling rather than looking to let his hands go and try to knock opponents out that way. He's only 26 years old, so he's still learning. He's still trying to craft things up in his game, but he had some, notable wins on the regional scene before coming to the UFC, beating former UFC fighter Bavon Lewis, beating former Ultimate Fighter Myron Dennis. So he has some experience against legitimate competition, or at least good enough competition to warrant being in the UFC, but thus far has not really shown anything that makes you want to watch him fight again or believe that he has a whole lot of potential, and which is why I believe he is a plus 420 underdog in this matchup. So again, at his best, decent grappler, strong, mediocre cardio, has potential, but I haven't seen anything that makes me say, hey, this guy's going to be a top 5 light heavyweight in the next few years. A guy that will be, though, is his opponent, Yakhyaev, who I think is just far superior to Julius Walker in almost every aspect of mixed martial arts. Athletically speaking, maybe Walker's a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit more athletic, but I don't think that's going to make a difference considering the technical skills of Yakhyaev, who should be able to put a beating on Juicebox here. I think that will lead to Yakhyaev getting a quick first round finish once again. I think he finds dominant positions against Walker here, beats him to each position, and eventually finds a finish. When I first started this fight, he was about minus 400, which I was very surprised. And you're getting some decent limits, especially on a spot like Bet Online, to bet a minus 400. But, even at minus 550, I'm very surprised that this line is not minus 1,000, minus 1,200 even. Even if you put him at 95%, you're getting minus 1886, and he's nowhere near that. You know, sure, you can give Walker a 5% volatility because of a light heavyweight and maybe landing a Hail Mary shot, but I really think Yakhyaev runs through Walker in this spot. I'd be very, very surprised if Walker is able to pull off this upset. So if you can't tell, I'm very high on Yakhyaev in this spot, and I think it's going to be a showcase fight for him as he wins in round one, and I'll say, I don't know, knockout or submission. I'm gonna go knockout. Let's say he wins by knockout round one. But even at the current line that he's at, you could justify playing Yakhyaev straight at that number because of how big of a mismatch I expect this fight to be. So Yakhyaev round one will be my final prediction for this matchup. Round one knockout.